Welcome to this IELTS practice test resources. In this test, you will listen to a variety of recordings and answer questions based on what you hear. Before each section begins, you will have time to read the instructions and questions carefully. After each section, you will be given a short period to review your answers before moving on to the next part. The listening test is divided into 4 parts. The recordings will be played one time only, so listen carefully and write your answers while listening. For each question, follow the word limit instructions carefully. For example, if the instruction says, "Write one word only," your answer must contain just one word. After completing all 4 parts, you will have time to review your answers. An answer sheet with all correct answers will be provided at the end of the video. Now, prepare your pen and paper, make sure you are in a quiet place, and let's begin the test. Part 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 speakers. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. You will hear a telephone conversation between a customer and a camp booking officer.
Good morning, Alpine Adventure Camps. This is Jacob speaking. How may I help you today?
Hi, Jacob. I'm interested in booking a family adventure camp for next year, and I'd like some information.
Of course. We have several options available. Are you looking for tents, cabins, or lodges?
We tried tents last year, and while the children enjoyed them, we'd prefer something more comfortable this time. A wooden cottage would be perfect.
Great choice. Our cottages are very popular. Now, how many people will be attending?
Let me think. There's my husband and me, our 3 children, and my sister will join us for a few days.
So that's 6 people altogether?
Yes, exactly 6.
And what activities are you most interested in?
The children originally wanted horse riding, but after looking at your website, we've all decided on kayaking.
Excellent. The lake conditions are ideal for that activity. When would you like the camp to begin?
We first considered July, but accommodation seemed limited then. Could we book for June instead?
Let me check. Yes, June is available.
Perfect.
I'll need some personal details now. May I have your full name?
Certainly. My first name is Sophie, and my surname is Bennett.
That's Bennett?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. And your address?
It's 21 Cedar Road.
Sorry, was that Cedar or Cedarwood?
Just Cedar. Cedar.
Thank you. Will you be bringing any pets?
Yes, we have a small rabbit. The children insist on taking it everywhere.
That's unusual, but rabbits are allowed. Do you require any equipment rentals?
We have most of our own gear, but we'll definitely need helmets.
No problem. We can reserve those for you. We also offer some optional services. Many guests choose our evening barbecue package.
Excellent choice.
That sounds nice, but we'd actually like the photography package. We'd love professional pictures of the trip. Excellent choice. Everything looks good. How would you like the booking confirmation sent? We can email it or send a printed copy.
My inbox is usually full, so could you send it by text message instead?
Certainly. I'll arrange that today.
Wonderful. Thank you for all your help.
You're very welcome. We look forward to seeing you at Alpine Adventure Camp. Have a lovely day.
You too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of Part 1. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 1. Now turn to Part 2. Part 2. You will hear a wildlife park supervisor giving an orientation talk to visitors. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for choosing to visit Green Valley Wildlife Park today. Before you begin exploring the reserve, I'd like to spend a few minutes explaining some important regulations and current developments within the park. Let's begin with a few items that are not permitted inside the reserve. Many visitors ask whether they can bring picnic baskets, and the answer is yes, provided all rubbish is taken away afterwards. Foldable chairs are also allowed in designated rest areas. However, there are two items that are strictly prohibited. The first is laser pointers. Although some people use them for photography or entertainment, the beams can distress birds and other wildlife. The second item is kites. It may seem harmless to fly one in an open space, but animals often mistake them for predators, which can cause panic throughout the park. Visitors are welcome to bring cameras, binoculars, and even portable speakers, although we ask that the volume be kept low out of consideration for others. Now, let me update you on a couple of improvement projects currently taking place. As you may have noticed upon arrival, there is construction work near the eastern section of the park. We are currently building a new visitor education center, which will include interactive exhibits, classrooms, and a small theater. At the same time, our maintenance team is replacing several old observation towers with larger and safer structures. Some visitors have asked whether we are expanding the children's playground. While that idea has been discussed, no work has begun yet. Similarly, there are currently no plans to extend the parking facilities. The restaurant will also remain unchanged for the foreseeable future. If you discover an animal that appears trapped or injured, please do not attempt to help it yourself. Instead, use one of the emergency intercom stations located throughout the park. This allows our trained wildlife officers to respond immediately.
Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20.
Occasionally, visitors accidentally drop personal belongings into restricted areas. Whether it's a mobile phone, a hat, or a water bottle, please do not try to retrieve the item yourself. Staff members will recover it when it is safe to do so. Because the reserve covers several hundred hectares, it is possible to become separated from your family or group. If this happens, please wait calmly where you are. Our staff monitor all major pathways and will assist you shortly. You may also encounter wild deer that occasionally wander close to visitors. If one approaches you, avoid sudden movements and simply walk away slowly. This helps prevent unnecessary stress for the animal. Should you require medical assistance for a minor injury, such as a cut or an insect sting, please go directly to the Visitor Services building near the main entrance. Qualified first aid personnel are available there throughout the day. Finally, if you notice any damaged signs, broken fencing, or unsafe walkways, please report the issue to one of our volunteers. They can be identified by their bright green uniforms and will immediately inform the maintenance department. That concludes the orientation. We hope you enjoy your visit and have a wonderful day exploring Green Valley Wildlife Park.
That is the end of Part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. Now turn to Part 3. Part 3. You will hear two university students, Ethan and Priya, discussing their sociology research project on student shopping habits. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hi, Priya. Have you got a few minutes to work on our research project?
Of course. I've been looking forward to discussing it. We really need to finalize everything before next week's seminar.
Definitely. I'm glad we decided to focus on student shopping habits.
Me too. Although, to be honest, I originally thought we chose it because our tutor kept mentioning consumer behavior during lectures.
That's true, but it wasn't the main reason. What convinced me was the lack of recent research. Most of the studies I found in the university database were conducted more than 5 years ago.
That's a long time considering how quickly shopping habits change.
Exactly. Online marketplaces, delivery services, digital subscriptions, student lifestyles are completely different now.
Which means our findings could be much more relevant to today's students.
That's the idea.
So, how did your literature review go?
Surprisingly well. I spent nearly 2 days reading journal articles.
Did anything stand out?
Quite a few things. I expected most researchers to focus on textbook expenses because students complain about them all the time.
That's what I would have predicted too.
But textbooks weren't the main topic at all. What really surprised me was the extent to which digital advertising influences undergraduate purchasing decisions.
Really?
Yes. Several studies suggested that targeted online advertisements strongly affect what students buy.
That's fascinating. I knew advertisements were influential, but I didn't realize the effect was so significant.
Apparently, some students make purchases almost immediately after seeing personalized ads.
That definitely sounds like something worth exploring in our research.
I agree.
Speaking of research, we still need to decide how we're collecting our primary data.
My first thought was to interview students as they leave local supermarkets.
That would give us useful information, but it would take ages to gather enough responses.
True. Then I considered observing students in campus cafes.
The problem with observation is that we'd only know what people buy, not why they buy it.
Good point.
I think an online questionnaire would work best. We could distribute it through the university email system.
That's a great idea. We'd reach thousands of students within a few days.
And it would save us a lot of time compared with interviews.
We just need to improve a few things before sending it out.
You mean the issues we discovered during the pilot study?
Exactly.
At first, I thought the sample size was the problem, because only 10 students participated.
But the size wasn't really the issue.
No, the bigger problem was that several participants misunderstood one of our questions.
The section about disposable income caused most of the confusion.
Some students thought we meant income before tax, while others interpreted it differently.
Fortunately, nobody complained that the questionnaire was too long.
Which means we only need to adjust the wording.
Exactly.
So, Are we ready to submit the ethical approval form?
Not yet.
I thought perhaps we still needed to revise the methodology section.
That's already complete. Before we submit any official paperwork, I'd like someone to check our statistical calculations.
You mean Dr. Patel from the mathematics department?
Yes, I want him to confirm that our planned sample size is statistically valid.
That's sensible. I'll arrange a meeting with him this week.
Now you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
While we're waiting for feedback, let's discuss the hypotheses for different student groups.
Good idea. Let's start with medical students.
Given their demanding schedules, I assume they spend a lot on ready-to-eat meals.
That's what most people think. However, the evidence suggests their most distinctive purchasing habit is buying caffeinated beverages.
Coffee, energy drinks, things like that?
Exactly. They rely on them during long hospital placements and overnight study sessions.
That makes sense. What about engineering students?
I initially expected them to spend heavily on specialist equipment.
Me too.
Surprisingly, most equipment is provided by the university. Their biggest expenses are actually monthly subscriptions for professional software and digital services.
So, digital subscriptions should be our focus.
Definitely.
Moving on to art students.
Most people assume they spend huge amounts on paints and materials.
Don't they?
They do, but many art departments now subsidize those costs. What's more interesting is their preference for environmentally responsible fashion.
So, eco-friendly apparel?
Exactly. Many prefer vintage clothing and sustainable brands.
Interesting. Now let's consider business students.
I expected them to spend money on professional clothing and networking events.
That's a common stereotype.
In reality, they're extremely practical. They often purchase used course materials from previous students to reduce expenses.
That's a smart approach.
It certainly is.
Finally, sports science students,
Most people imagine they'll spend lots of money on gym equipment,
which seems logical
but their most important purchases are actually dietary ingredients.
because they follow specific nutrition plans.
Exactly. Many buy fresh ingredients in large quantities to support training and performance goals.
Perfect. That gives us clear categories for each faculty.
Great. Once we hear back from Dr. Patel, we can finalize the proposal and launch the survey.
Hopefully before the end of the month.
That's the plan.
That is the end of Part 3. You now have some time to check your answers. Now turn to Part 4. Part 4. You will hear a university lecturer talking about renewable water management. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today we will examine the subject of renewable water management, a field that has become increasingly important as global populations continue to expand. Access to clean and reliable water supplies is one of the most significant challenges facing modern societies, and engineers play a vital role in addressing these concerns. Let us begin by considering the challenges involved in water supply. One of the primary issues is the rapid growth of urban populations. As more people move into cities, the demand for drinking water, sanitation services, and industrial use rises dramatically. In many regions, existing infrastructure struggles to keep pace with this growth. Another major problem concerns aging networks. Many older cities continue to rely on underground pipes that were installed decades ago. Over time, these pipes deteriorate and develop leaks, causing substantial water losses before the water even reaches consumers. Furthermore, shortages become particularly severe during periods of prolonged drought. When rainfall levels remain below average for months or even years, reservoirs shrink and groundwater supplies become increasingly limited. Now let us look at traditional and modern storage methods. Throughout history, societies have developed creative ways to conserve water. Archaeological evidence shows that many ancient civilizations constructed underground chambers specifically designed to collect and store rainwater. These structures helped communities survive dry seasons and provided a reliable reserve during emergencies. Today, storage systems have become much more sophisticated. Modern reservoirs are frequently equipped with digital monitoring systems. These technologies continuously measure water levels, temperature, and quality, allowing operators to respond quickly whenever unusual conditions are detected. Such monitoring also helps improve efficiency and reduce waste. The next topic is water quality. Maintaining clean water supplies is often just as challenging as securing sufficient quantities. A common source of contamination is industrial waste. Factories that fail to treat their wastewater properly may release harmful substances into rivers and lakes. Once pollution enters a waterway, it can spread over large areas and affect both ecosystems and human communities. Fortunately, nature can sometimes provide solutions. Wetlands, for example, act as biological filters. As water passes through these environments, plants and microorganisms help remove contaminants and improve overall water quality. This natural purification process has inspired many modern environmental projects. Poor water quality is a serious concern because it may result in significant public health risks, particularly in densely populated areas where disease can spread rapidly. Finally, let us consider some sustainable innovations that researchers are currently exploring. Scientists are increasingly interested in developing environmentally friendly alternatives to conventional filtration materials. One promising invention involves producing water filters from coconut fibers. These natural materials are inexpensive, renewable, and widely available in tropical regions. Their structure allows them to trap particles effectively while remaining biodegradable. Another exciting area of research focuses on purification systems that utilize microscopic algae. These tiny organisms can absorb certain pollutants and excess nutrients from water, helping restore ecological balance. Because algae reproduce quickly and require relatively few resources, they offer considerable potential for future large-scale applications. In conclusion, renewable water management combines engineering, environmental science, and public policy. As climate patterns continue to change and urban populations expand, innovative approaches to water conservation and purification will become even more essential. Next week, we will examine several case studies that demonstrate how different countries are implementing these technologies in practice.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have some time to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.